obsessed by ancient Greeks for a very, very, very long time. And when you are obsessed with ancient Greeks, like I am, you end up doing things like learning about the ancient Romans as well. And I'm not a Roman fan. And then you end up learning about who came before the ancient Greeks. And you go, okay, that's pretty interesting. And then you end up learning about ancient Egyptians as well, because, it all kind of carried on and carried on and carried on. And you go, okay, cool. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, I heard a guy say ancient India was absolutely responsible for prosperity in ancient Greece and Rome. And I just about fell off my chair when I heard this statement. I was like, hold on, you've got to be kidding. No one has ever brought this up before. I have not heard of this. What the heck is going on here? I was so surprised just by this one statement about ancient India influencing ancient Greece and ancient Rome. I was so surprised. Dolphin, do you have a question?
Well, myths are often a representation of the culture and beliefs around the time. And Dionysus made like his trek to India in one of the myths.
No,
And like found a
did
bunch
not know
of weird mythical creatures there. Like I'm pretty sure he thought all the Indians had the heads of dogs or something. There's some weird stuff.
Right.
And
I'm going to have
and
to dig into
Hera's
that.
sacred animal is a peacock, which
Amazing.
is
May
from the
or may
region.
not. Exactly. Okay, so this send a message to everyone that can probably stop now. Thanks. Right, Bailey, hand up. Did you have a question quickly?
During the 12th century,
I think I'm a little bit glitched. Sorry. Bailey, do you want to start that again? I heard during the 12th century, and then I didn't hear anymore.
during the 12th century, across the North German coast and throughout the rest of Europe, there was trading going on.
He was, indeed. Amazing fact about trading. So cool. Right. I want us to first of all think about what trade is. Have you ever done a trade? What did you trade? And how did it work out? I know, Abby, I don't know what is going on with my internet. It's not cool. Right. Who can share an example of what they have traded and how it worked out? You haven't traded anything, Isaac? Okay. Amazing. I bet you have. Just as a challenge. Bailey, what have you traded? Traded.
My
Sorry.
crackers.
Your what? Your crackers.
Yeah.
What did you get in return for your crackers?
Once I got a Tim Tam in return.
Good deal. My goodness. Thea, have
I
you?
learned my looks.
Well done. Go you. Thea, what have you traded? Oh, you muted again, Lip. Do you want to hit unmute and try that again?
I've traded gibbets.
Amazing. So has Isabel. What about other people? Nia, what have you traded?
I've traded books.
That's a good one. Amazing. Abby, do you want to pop that you've traded Yeah, books. It's an intriguing one, right, Isaac? What has Abby traded? Interested to see. And Isaac, what have you traded online? Oh, books as well, Abby. That's a popular option then. Isaac, what have you traded online? It's very intriguing. Oh, you love books. Awesome.
Like stuff. Can you hear me?
Yeah?
Okay, I've traded like I don't know, like pets and stuff online in like Roblox.
Yes. Okay, so stuff and Roblox. Amazing. Very, very cool. So if we were going to define trade for Sia being our super intelligent alien who's got a brilliant brain but doesn't actually know anything, how would we define trade for Sia? What would we tell Sia that trade is? No. What do we think? Okay, go Thea. What would we tell Sia? Trade is what people do, yeah, but people do lots of things, Abby, don't they? You give something, and what's the other side? You get something. Exactly. Who's got anything to add? Because that's a pretty slick little definition there. You give something and you get something. It's the technical term for that is reciprocity. Right? It doesn't work if you just give something, and it doesn't work if you just take something. It's both. All right, Nia, what would you like to add to that one?
I just accidentally pressed it.
Okay. Oh, good. Bailey, did you have something you wanted to add? You're on mute, Bailey. You need to unmute, my man. You still need to unmute, Bailey. Yeah.
Nowadays they trade things like food, but back in the days they traded goods.
Yeah.
Goods.
Amazing. Okay, so let's start at this idea that in the past, and actually we still do it today, we trade food items. Why do you think that food items were one of the first things that people traded? Why do you think? What do you think, Dolphin?
Because it's one of the few essential things people need.
Bingo.
And because trading water isn't as efficient, because if one person has water, you probably do as well if you live in the same region. Trading shelter also isn't that efficient because you'll probably just make one yourself.
Exactly. Yeah, food is tradable in that actually you can generally pick up a whatever of food, like I've picked up a Vivid, and you can literally give it to someone else, right? And you can trade what you want, like the crackers and the Tim Tam. You can trade what you have a lot of back for what you want. Okay, so trading food was easy. Some people have less of one thing and more of the other. Yes, exactly. So if I have lots of crackers, but Bailey has lots of Tim Tams, we're going to do some trade there because I want some Tim Tams and I'm going to give Bailey back a few crackers, even though I think Bailey's example was the other way, right? So food, an amazing first example of trade. What else got traded in the ancient world? So food kept people alive. That was really easy. What else got traded? What do you know, Bailey?
Silk and pottery.
Amazing. Okay, so things that are made, right? And silk and pottery are great examples of things that are made, right? And not just ordinary things. Often people traded things that were a little bit special. Yeah, silk is a little bit special if you don't have any silk. If you've got heaps of silk, silk is not that special. But if you don't have it, it's a little bit more special. Okay, so I'm going to trade this message. Amazing. So things that are made, things that you don't have get traded more often. Here are a couple of more examples of things. So we had silk, other fabric, even just cotton fabric or woolen, really good woolen woven fabric as well. Sugar. Because if you came to my session on brains, you'll know that brains run on sugar. And as humans, we want sugar. So sugar was a big trade item.
Sugar!
But on mute, please, Bailey. Salt and pepper, which sound really boring, but they were hotly traded. Because imagine all of your food without lots of interesting flavour like salt and pepper. Way back in the past, people's food was probably super plain, so salt and pepper became hot ticket items for trade. Tea. Now I think tea is I wouldn't trade a pen for tea. I wouldn't trade a post-it note for tea. I'd trade anything for tea, honestly. But tea, hot ticket item back in the past because places like India could grow tea plants easily, dry it easily, stick it on a boat, send it off to England. Easy peasy, right? So it was easy to trade. Okay, so we have lots of food and food-ish items. We have made goods like silk and pottery, etc. What else got traded? So let's think beyond those things. What else got traded? Dolphin, what do you reckon?
Adding on to the spice idea, I think it's anything that could stimulate the brain, as cannabis was one of the first, if not the first, domesticated plant species that has evidence of it being used like 5,000 years ago in a Chinese burial site.
Amazing. And the interesting thing about that plant and lots of other plants that were readily traded are that they had multiple uses rather than just the modern use that we would associate. They had multiple uses. All right. Can we keep the chat on topic or we can turn it off? Because it's a little bit distracting when it's way off topic, please. All right.
Oh yeah, just one thing off
sorry,
topic.
go ahead.
I finished my basing from earlier.
Amazing, off topic, but okay. Thanks for the update. That's great. Will, what did you want to add?
Often raw materials are traded.
Yes, yep. The really basic stuff. And it was often those raw materials that one area had in abundance, and an example is tin in England, and another part of the world or even another part of that particular country didn't have that material in abundance and needed it. Another good example is copper, because when you put copper and tin together, you create bronze. Now, bronze is awesome for what in the ancient world? Have a guess. Bowls, yeah, boring though. Something else, something way more exciting in the ancient world. Bronze was used for. More exciting than that even. Probably not as exciting to us, but think stabby, fighty. Bronze was used for weapons. Amazing, yes. So, we trade those raw materials so that we can build new tools. Often those tools involve weapons, and weapons were used in conquering areas that you couldn't trade with. So instead of trading with them, we'll just conquer them. Romans did that amazingly well. right? This was absolutely their thing. If we can't trade with them, we're just going to conquer them and take their stuff anyway. That's why I'm not a huge Roman fan, because they just took things. Anyway, so we've got raw materials, we've got food, we've got made goods as well. What else got traded almost accidentally? And it changed the world so completely. Bailey, what else do you think got traded accidentally, almost?
I know something that got traded.
Yeah.
Slaves.
Yes, that's not accidental though. That's on purpose, right? We trade human lives on purpose because we want more people to do our work for us. Knowledge, well, that is perfection, absolutely. So when you are trading stuff with other people, you get to learn about other people. Even in the playground, you learn who's got the Tim Tams. You learn who likes Tim Tams. You learn who's got all the crackers. You learn who can be easily manipulated and who can't. You learn all sorts of things about other people. And while you learn things about other people, you're learning about yourself. So ideas, knowledge, all got traded almost accidentally, because people didn't go on a big journey on a boat to another country far away to go, oh, you know what, I need a few new ideas. They would go but accidentally gather up all of these new ideas. Okay, we've had ideas, we've had people get traded. What else? So knowledge, I think, made the most impact. We learned about other people and the fact that other people even exist, right? Because often some ancient civilizations didn't think other people existed apart from them. Imagine that. Amazing. What else got traded almost accidentally? I've got one of them in my hand. It's not pens specifically. I've got another one in my hand. Abby, go for it. I've got another example in my hand if I can find one. It's not stationary item. Tools! That's the one! Exactly. Tools and weapons. Weapons we can think of as a category of tools because they're just tools for a particular purpose, right? So, yes, tools got traded all the time and sometimes accidentally. Like sometimes if you've got a great sack of tea, there might be stuff in it or you might need a particular tool, right? Well, sometimes you just arrived on a boat in a place that you were going to trade food with and saw, oh my goodness, you've got these cool things. Can we have some of those cool things, right? Really, really important. The trade of tools and ideas is super important. And those things change the world. All right. Well, a really big one. Diseases. A huge thing that completely changed the course of human history at so many points in time, and there are so many examples. Yes, Abby, bubonic plague, number one, spread by fleas, fleas spread by cats, cats who live on boats, cats go ashore. COVID exactly was spread by trade. Amazing. There is a very famous example of the trade of disease. It's called the Columbian Exchange. And it's when people from Spain and Portugal sailed to what we now call South America. And they took all of the European diseases with them. And the people in South America had never been exposed to these European diseases. So they had no immunity. So millions of people died. Now, interestingly, historically, this is called the Columbian Exchange, but only a very few diseases got exchanged back to Europe. Hardly any, in fact. One of the key things that went back to Europe was silver, gold, potatoes, chocolate, very important. But is that worth millions of lives? Don't really think so. Dolphin, your thoughts?
think it was the low population density that made the Native Americans more susceptible and the reason they had less diseases. But it's not to say that they didn't bring back anything. They brought back syphilis, so.
Yeah, so that's one. But it wasn't, when you look at the sheer numbers involved, the exchange was more one-sided than a genuine reciprocal exchange.
I think about it like this. There was a lot more Europeans at that time, so if
Really?
less diseases got brought back, they could be spread to more people still. I think it evens out. I'm not
Okay.
trying to justify the actions of any colonizers. They were
Yeah.
assholes, but still.
Amazing. Yeah. So yeah, I think actually thinking about it through that lens of a per capita, based on numbers of population, would be a really interesting way to think about that Columbian exchange. Okay, so we have food, we have goods, we have natural resources, we have ideas and tools and weaponry. Should we turn that chat off for a minute because it's just a little bit off the edge of the idea we're talking about? One other thing that trade did was introduce writing and the keeping of written records. And I'm a person that loves writing, not necessarily with a pen and handwriting, but I love the written word. It really is my jam. And I think it's amazing that the very first written records were of trade. They were of, you gave me this number of sacks of whatever, I'm giving you 5 sheep. It was literally writing to keep track of what was traded. So cool. And that was the Babylonians were doing that. Very cool. Abby, what did you want to jump in with? Going to be typey. Hey, Abby, you're going to have sore old typing hands at the minute. Yeah. So written communication, the idea of keeping records, that was all caused by trade, which I think is amazing. Yeah, on the topic of writing, fun topic. I think it's very cool that the first written records were trade records. Very interesting to me. Abby, while you're typing, can we get Isaac to jump in? Isaac, what would you like to add? Yes, no, maybe? No? 1 second, okay, fine. All right, while Abby is typing, another thing that happened because of trade is this idea of bigger and better. And this is an idea that humans keep on keeping on with, right? We need to do more. We need to invent better things. We need better cars. We need better spaceships. We need better motorways. We need better everything. And this all started with being able to trade, because just imagine this. You are living in ancient Egypt. Your people that you live with in your community have just domesticated camels. Now, camels are big, stinky, annoying animals, but you've just domesticated them and decided you're going to keep them as things to help you trade. Because imagine you're an ancient Egyptian person, you've got a giant sack of wheat to trade with a bunch of people who live a couple of days walk away. Now, if you can ride on a camel, it means you don't have to carry the sack, so it makes it easier, right? So you get that. That's your first bigger and better, ride on a camel. And then eventually you realize that actually there's good trading to be had down the river. So you get a better boat, because moving from A to B on a boat on a river is faster than moving from A to B on a big, stupid, stinky camel, right? So we get bigger and better. And a lot of those technological innovations, like better, I want to say horse and cart. I don't necessarily mean horse, it could be camel. better boats, better transport technology, better understanding how to get from A to B on the ocean, better map making, better tools for navigating, all of that stuff is because of trade. I think it's really cool. Okay, the Library of Alexandria Abbey. That is the one. Amazing. Absolutely incredible place. If I could jump in a time machine and go anywhere, that's where I would go. Amazing repository of knowledge on scrolls of wisdom, of philosophy. People went there and studied, and yes, it was attacked and burnt in a fire. I have in my head the attack was something to do with Hypatia. Yeah, no, am I wrong? I'm wrong, probably. I have in my head about Hypatia, but could be wrong. I don't know. Yeah, a total tragedy for humanity. Like that would have been an incredible treasure for us to find. So back on the trade. Yes, people traded their knowledge deliberately with things like scrolls and put them in libraries. Amazing. Trade is responsible for technological change. It's responsible for writing systems. I'm coming to you, Isaac. It's responsible for disease. It's responsible for colonization, as someone said. Isaac, I'll come to that. I saw it before and I will come to it. Don't need to ask again, okay? Trade is responsible for the bigger and better mentality. Well, maybe. But for all of those reasons and all of those things that got traded, humans are better for it. Right? It is how we progressed as humans, not just as a civilization, but as humans. Okay, Lilith, that is a very weird fact. Very weird fact, but okay. These are the same, this is the same culture that mummified people and they got rid of brains and they didn't even keep brains because they thought brains were not important. Just saying. All right, Bailey, what did you want to add? Repeat which bit.
Well, in 1600, when the Dutch ships arrived in Venezuela and they mined and looted cargoes of salt, was that part of the virus trade?
Yes, precisely. That's precisely what I'm talking about, was that whole period of time, Bailey. So, yeah, well done. The fact I was describing about ancient Egyptians, I'll type it as well. Ancient Egyptians, when they mummified dead people, they pulled out their brains and discarded them. Didn't even keep brains in canopic jars. They didn't think brains had any value or any importance. So, if Egyptians believed peeing on barley was a pregnancy test, then I'm just saying, actually, maybe their medical knowledge wasn't amazing. So, not putting a lot of stock into ancient Egyptian medical thinking, just saying. All right, Dolphin, did you have a question? Yeah, ooh is right. Totally agree.
Yes, but I'm not done looking at it now.
Okay, all good. Bailey, what did you want to add? Just about time up, folks.
The word mummy is of Arabic origin and means pitch-preserved body. All the internal organs were removed from the dead body, except for the heart, which was believed to control thought and action, both of which were needed in the afterlife.
Amazing. Yep, the heart was considered essential. The heart, they believed, was going to be weighed in the afterlife as a way of, do you get into the good afterlife or the bad afterlife? The heart was thought to be the most important thing. And the important organs were, oh, amazing, Bailey, so cool. The important organs were kept in jars with the body, called canopic jars, that were beautifully decorated. But I do find it strange, the idea of, here's your kidneys in a jar, and here's your liver in a jar, and here's your belly in a jar. It's a strange concept for my non-ancient Egyptian brain to get around. Dolphin, question. And if you have any other questions, folks, stick them in the chat now.
I think that people that we give ancient people not enough credit, as this was something for religious purposes. We do a lot of dumb things for our own religious purposes.
I love it,
And
Dolphin.
even if you did keep the brain in a jar, what are you gonna do with it? Transplant it? You can't do that yet. You're thousands of years away from it.
I agree. Yeah, I'm with you. I think that is a fantastic analysis of history versus contemporary life. We look at things that people did in the past and go, well, that's dumb. But, sometimes we should look at ourselves and look at the things we do and think, is that dumb? It's a very, very good question to ask. And actually, also, that's why I really enjoy Sia, the super intelligent alien, as a thought experiment. Because sometimes trying to look at the things we do or the language we use or all sorts through that perspective of big brain but no knowledge is quite an interesting thought experiment. Yes, Isabel, we are 1 minute over. If anyone has any last minute questions, now is an amazing time to ask. Otherwise, I will let you carry on with your evening. And loads of you, I'm sure, will see tomorrow. So tomorrow is a fast run through. We're doing some Greek mythology. We're doing some art about brains. We're not going to throw them away like the ancient Egyptians did. Do some art about brains. We've got another talk about laws. We've got some change makers. We've got some Newton's laws as well. And we've got some bioluminescence. Oh my goodness. What an amazing day. I know, Newton, right? Very cool. All right, folks, have a good rest of your evening. Bye-bye. Oh, Isaac, you are too. Oh, too cool. That is amazing. Wow. Go you. Oh, you're going to enjoy that session then. Cool. See you, folks. Bye-bye.